Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this THOUSTA heated vest. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description on Amazon. If you use that link, it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So let's get this open. So at the time I'm recording this, it's fall time and winter is coming. So it's good timing. So here we have the vest, we have a battery. Here's a little card. It says the lining is 100% polyester, has some laundry instructions. It says make sure to remove the battery pack before washing. Then we have a user manual for the battery pack. So it's a lithium polymer battery. Capacity is 30,000 milliamp hours. Input is 5 volts at 2 amps max. Output is USB-A 5 volts at 2.5 amps or DC 7.4 at 4.5 amps. So this has two outputs on it. It has USB and DC out. Now of course USB is DC, but it's a higher voltage DC at a higher amperage. Then it has the size and weight on there. The battery has a monitor on it. The battery pack charges with a standard USB charger. Then we have some notes here on the back. So this talks about the USB output and the DC output, and you may need to activate the battery when you plug it into the vest to turn it on, and there's some other notices and things. So you'll want to read through that yourself. I'm just doing a quick overview, and here's the vest manual. So this has 13 heating zones, 6 on the front, 7 on the back. It uses carbon fiber heating elements. So there's 2 controls, one for the front and one for the back. Has a removable hat. It says waist zipper, pocket, and pocket to store the battery pack. So these are the instructions. There are 2 ways to connect the battery pack with the DC or USB, and those have different temperature ranges. So for the power button, you long press for 2 seconds to go into red mode, and then you can get these temperatures. So those are the highest temperatures. So that would max out at 131 and 158, depending on USB or DC port. You press it once for white, and that's 113 to 149, and you press twice for blue, which is 95 to 140. Long press for 2 seconds to turn it off. It says the temperature of the heated vest reaches the setting mode. After heating the effect lasts for a period of time, it will automatically switch to a low temperature mode. So if you're cold, you'll turn it on, it'll heat you up quickly, but then it will drop to that lower temperature after it's heated up. Now, I'm guessing you could turn it back up to that higher temperature if you wanted. So this comes with a USB pack, but you can use other packs. It says please work with output of 5 volts 2 amps or higher battery pack. It says to unplug the connector when you're not wearing it. Don't wear it where there's damp or wet clothing. And it says the temperature can vary depending on the environment. So if you're out in super cold weather, it's not going to feel as warm as if it's moderately cold weather. And here we have the washing machine instructions. You can read those. So this comes with a USB to USB Type-C cable. Let's take a quick look at the battery pack. This is the display here. It has a little protective film on it. I'll pull that off. So here we have the different ports here. We have USB Type-A, USB-C charging, and the DC out. So we'll charge it up with this USB here. You can plug the vest into this. You can also use this to charge devices like a smartphone. But for now, I'll plug this in and we'll get this charging. So here's the vest itself. Okay, so the vest is thick and insulating, so that's nice. It has pockets on either side. So this will about fit my hand. The pocket's about like that. It kind of goes down a ways. This has zippers on the side too. Okay, so that is to expand it. So it's adjustable for different sizes. Let's take a quick look at the back. So it is very padded. I like that. This has a hood on it. The hood is attached with a zipper, and it's a pretty wide zipper too. I've seen some hoods that attach with a tiny little zipper, so a lot of air can leak in behind it. So that should be pretty comfy. It has this, looks like a ribbon, so you can tie this off. And then the battery will go in this pouch. So I'll open it up. So here's the connector, USB, DC. This also has a pocket on the other side here, so you can maybe put a spare battery in it. And then it has this reflective material on the back side. So I'm going to let that battery charge up, and then I'll connect it up, and we'll test this out. Also be taking a look at it with my thermal camera. Okay, so I let the battery charge overnight. Well, let's get it installed. So we'll open up the pouch. We have the 2 options for connecting. So if we want to connect to USB, plug it in like that. If we want the DC 7.4 volts, we can plug it in like this. So that's going to give you higher power. Of course, that will also drain the battery faster, but I will do that mode. Stick this in here. So now let's focus in on the controls. Powered on, we'll hold it down for 2 seconds. Okay, we can see that it lit up red. We can press once. That will change it to white, and I'm pressing both at the same time. You can control these independently, and I'll press it again. It will go to blue mode. To turn it off, I'll hold it down for 2 seconds. So let's do that again real quick. We'll press through, and we're on red again. Okay. So if you're on blue, if you press it again, you'll go to red, which is the highest heat. Okay, so this is heating up now, and I can't really show you that with this camera, but I have a thermal camera. So let's switch over to that so we can check out the heat zones. Okay, so I have the thermal camera here. This is the outside of the front, and you can see it's pretty cool here, and you can see a little bit of heat here and there. So this is insulating very well. Let's open it up. Now we can see on the inside, we have hot areas. Let me move the camera. So we can see this is at 122. Now this isn't super accurate. I find it usually reads low. Let's look at the middle area. We can see the heated areas here, but this is a reflective surface, so it's not great for using with a thermal camera. But again, we can see the temperatures here. And up here, this really hot one is the neck area. Let's turn this over. So here's the backside. So you can just see little bits of heat peeking through. But what this is showing me is the insulation is very good on this. If we look at the seam, you know, we're at about 100 degrees. If we go up, we're at the ambient temperature, which is around 73. Okay, so that was the thermal camera. It was a little tricky to see because the thermal camera doesn't have a very wide angle on it, but I can confirm that all of the hot spots shown in the user manual here, the 7 on the back and 6 in the front, they all exist. So they weren't overstating the number of thermal areas. So I'm going to put this on now and I'll show it on me so you can see how it fits. So I'm around 6 foot, 200 pounds, and this is the extra large model. Okay, so I have the vest on. This is fitting on me very well. Now I have the hood up. This can come off completely. Now my hands are in the pockets and there is a heating element down there, so it is keeping my hands very warm, which is nice. One thing I really like is that the zipper has this covering on it. So when it's zipped up, it doesn't seal with a hook and loop or anything, but it will keep the wind out. And actually the zipper is sealed pretty good too. So between the zipper and this covering, I don't feel like cold air is going to get in there very easily. So you can cinch this up and tie it like so. And then if I want to change the settings, I can press these here. Now if I want to go in here and put it on the lower settings, I can turn this off, pull the battery out, swap that over, place it back in here, and now I'm on the lower settings, and then I can go here to the blue, and this is the lowest setting. So if you don't need a tremendous amount of heat, you just want a little bit of heat, you can put it in the USB port and turn it to the blue mode, and that will give you the longest runtime also. So I'm going to have somebody take a picture of me with the full vest, and I'll insert that picture here. So that's the THOUSTA heated vest. I have to say I'm really impressed with this. So while I was charging the battery, I put this on, and I'll say even without the heating, this was very warm. Now I'm in a conditioned space right now, but where I live it gets really cold. There are days that get down to -10, near -20 degrees Fahrenheit. I know other places get even colder than that. And a heated vest could be nice, but it's kind of pointless when that heat all just leaks out. This thing has a lot of insulation in it. So not only is it going to heat, but it's also going to keep that heat in. And that's a very important thing. If you have the heat without the insulation, then it's not going to work as well, or you're going to get less run times because you have to run it at a higher level than you need to. So I really like that. This thing fit very well. It has really nice construction. So I really like all the features of this. I like that it has that custom battery pack with the 7.4 volt output on it, so you can get that higher heat, but it also can take regular USB, so you can use other USB power banks with this. So you could really have an endless supply of power to run this. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.